Morning, everybody. You're really welcome to our virtual roundtable specifically for those of you working in healthcare. My name is Amy Butterworth. I'm Consultancy Director at Timewise. Many of you will know Timewise, who we are and what we do, but for those of you who don't, really briefly, we are a social enterprise and we're the UK's leading flexible working consultancy. So that means that we work with employers across sector and with policymakers to create stronger, more inclusive workplaces. And we do that specifically by designing and implementing more flexible ways of working. So hopefully that's what you were expecting to hear and you're in the right place this morning. We have put together this virtual roundtable specifically for healthcare professionals. And we're gathering you together this morning to look at innovation in your sector in ways of working, and also to gain a sense of how much has changed given the focus that there continues to be within the sector on flexible working as a solution to some of the challenges that are being faced in terms of workforce. So you're very welcome. We have a great lineup of speakers to talk and share their stories. We're also going to be looking for you to share your stories, and we'll have the chance to do that as part of the roundtable. So we are going to get you into breakout groups and get you talking. That's not a threat, that's an invitation to share ideas and comments. And there'll also be an opportunity for you to get involved after today as well. And we'll talk to you a bit more about that towards the end. So, as I said, we're gathering you together this morning to look at innovation in ways of working within healthcare and to gain a sense of how much has changed. There are over 1.2 million full-time equivalent staff working in the NHS in commissioning groups. So that makes you the largest employer in Europe, and also an employer with a well-publicised staffing crisis. It's an ongoing issue for a number of years now, and warnings that have accompanied the press coverage on that around the impact on patient safety and on staff wellbeing. And there have been, as you will know, no doubt, big steps in recent years to tackle this issue and to really focus on retention and attraction of staff. So if we look back to 2020, 2021, the People Plan and the People Promise really elevated and recognised the importance of flexible working, which for us at Timewise was a really welcome focus. And that's been reiterated in your workforce plan, published a couple of months back. We know that there is a close link between enabling people to work in a way that's compatible with whatever they have to do outside of work, their out of work lives, their out of work responsibilities, and actually keeping them. And in 2021, the NHS really led the way by giving all staff the contractual right to request flexible working from day one. So that's ahead of UK legislation, and the UK as a whole is expected to bring that same right for other employers in next year. So the strategic imperative is there. The will is clearly there, but we do a lot of work within the NHS, within healthcare providers, and we recognise that the task to create flexible work can at times feel particularly challenging, given operational pressures, given the complexity and the range of roles within many of your organisations. So we can see, I guess, from where we sit, that to bring that people promise of we work flexibly to life really takes a concerted effort. And we believe that this needs to be both bottom up with initiatives and trials from the ground, but also top down and gathering leadership, buy-in and direction to really mandate and role model and guide that activity. We can see really good progress. So we have the opportunity to work with organisations like some of the ones that you'll hear from today, who are really leading the way in this space. But we also know that that's inconsistent. So for all of you on the call that feel that you're within that type of organisation, I know that there will also be others who feel like you're maybe at the moment pushing at a bit of a closed door. So we recognise that inconsistency. And we can also see the complexity of it, so the need for different approaches to change, depending on the type of setting that you're working within. So the purpose of today is really to come together for people who care about this, who are working in this space, who have personal experience, and look at what is already happening, and also ask the question, how much has changed? And that's what I'm going to start with today. So in a moment, I'm going to invite you to tell us what you think in response to this question. So has the people promise of We Work Flexibly helped drive more flexibility within your organisation? So I'd just like you to think about where you sit now and tell us honestly. You've got the choice of yes, no, or I'm not sure. And we will then share those results. So if you want to navigate in your browser to menti.com and put in the code that you can see on the slide in front of you, and let us know what you think, and Lorna will share the results for us in a moment.
Also drop that code into the chat. If anybody wants the short link, you can just head over to the chat and you'll find that there.
I can see some responses coming through there at the minute. There's a number of you saying yes, it has helped. Some of you saying you don't think it has as yet, and some of you not sure, which is completely fine. I'll just give it another moment or two for those of you that haven't yet responded to respond. I'll also let you know that we will be sharing the slides after the session today, and those will come through to you. And we also plan to share some of the recordings, and they'll just take a couple more days for us to finalise and get over to you.
Voting has slowed, Amy.
Okay, thank you. So we can see that there's a mixture of responses. It's really positive that so many of you do feel that the people promise is helping make change within your organisation, but an equal number of you saying you haven't really experienced that, or you're not sure. So that, I guess, kind of reiterates what I was saying about the inconsistency of what we see, which is possibly inevitable over such a large employer taking in so many different types of providers. What we're going to do now is really get into the detail of some of the work that we do see happening. So we've got three different sets of speakers to talk to you today. We're first going to hear from Alex and Jess within the NHS England Flex team to give us a bit of the central view around what they see happening from their kind of unique position in the national team. Then we're going to move on to Angela at Hampshire Isle of Wight, who's going to give us a system perspective. And then at the other end of the spectrum, finally, we'll hear from Claire and Inga at UCLH, who are going to tell us about a very specific project that they're doing within their trust. And we're hoping that this will stimulate thoughts and ideas, and then we'll get you into discussion groups so that you can really participate in this roundtable, as well as hearing from others.